And give yourself permission to drop your awareness into the body. We think the answers are in the brain, the mind, they're in the body. So can you re-access your body? Yoga is a practice for many things. Of one is reconnecting, reuniting. Yoga's union, creating a union with your body, the mind and the body, reconnecting. So can you drop the awareness into the body? And perhaps leave it there throughout the rest of our class, and perhaps even beyond the class. Of course, we'll notice resistance to that. We'll notice it pops back out of the body time and time again, and that's okay. Whenever you notice that, it's simply an opportunity to return. Balance evenly on the sits bones. Lengthen the inner thighs from the lower abdomen to the inner knees, from the inner knees to the lower abdomen. The knees themselves move more forward in the room. It's not a noticeable thing. It's a movement of energy. It's not like they're moving, 2, 3 inches. But the movement of energy brings the knees forward in the room as if you're trying to move them to the front wall. But there's still a lengthening through that whole area from the lower abdomen to the inner knee, from the inner knee to the lower abdomen. The flesh of the inner thighs descends. Draw the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact the hips together. Draw the front bottom ribs towards the back body as you lengthen from the hips through the armpits. And can you use this as a study? With each action, can you then study the effects of it? The action is the least important part of the practice. It's necessary to get you to the other parts. You can't observe the effects of the action without an action. The purpose of the action is so that you can study the effects. Allow the shoulders to release away from the sides of your neck. Allow the elbows to become heavy. As the elbows continue to draw down with gravity, bring your palms together, thumbs at your chest, touch your palms evenly, left to right, right to left. And you don't need to press hard. It's as if they are touching and not touching at the same time. There's a softness there. Rest your eyes into your cheekbones, gaze at the seat of your heart as you allow all of your facial features to completely release, completely relax. And let's chant the syllable Om 3 times together. Exhaling completely, deep inhalation. Om. Om. Lifting your sternum towards the ceiling, lower your chin towards your heart. Release your hands onto your thighs with your palms up. With your eyes closed, raise your head and gently allow your eyelids to open. Have a strap nearby. You don't need it right now, but have a strap nearby and straighten your legs. You can get a strap. Yeah, just go get a strap here. Just keep space. So fingertips by your hips. You can use a lift. If you prefer the floor, you can use the floor. Dandasana. Feet together. So heels together, toes together. The little toe moves back towards you, so the feet are in one straight line, spreading the toes. And look down for a second to make sure this line where the legs are connecting is straight. Sometimes if I'm not paying attention and I just sit, my legs will be a little off to the side. I don't even realize it. So it helps to look at the body and make sure that your legs are actually indeed straight. The thigh bones press down, not the knees, the thighs. Lengthen from the inner thigh through the inner knee, through the inner heel. Gently pushing through the ball of the big toe as well. The flesh of the inner thighs descends, draw from the outer knees to the outer hips. And gently pushing with the hands, find length through the side ribs. Watch the front ribs, so the front ribs move towards the back body. And then become longer from the hips through the armpits. Of course, the hips are compacting together, right? So outer knees to outer hips, the hips compact together. In Parshva Dandasana, take your left hand on the outside of your thigh, right hand goes behind you. Lift up first, lift, inhale, exhale, turn. Bend the elbows, but maintain the lift as you turn. Wrapping the ribs around. Each exhalation, turn in a little bit more until you've come to an optimal place and say, that's enough. We're not looking for maximum, we're looking to optimal, for optimal. But sometimes if you're in the same spot for a few breaths on an exhalation, you'll find that optimal is another millimeter. So we don't force, but we continue, we check in, we study the body. Inhale, maintain that lift. Exhale, come to center without collapsing. And we'll go to the other side. Inhale, exhale. Right hand on the outside, left hand behind you. Lift. Use the hand, especially that back hand, use that to help lift you. And exhale, turn. As you turn, the elbows can bend. Especially that front elbow bending will help with the turn. See that you're not leaning forward or back. See that you're maintaining the balance on the sits bones. Right, is one sit bone coming up? Is that right sit bone coming up? Keep that down. The thighs pressing, the groins, inner groins lengthening and releasing. Each exhalation, Perhaps turn it a little bit more. Of course, only because you're lifting first. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Maintain that lift. Inhale. Exhale, come to center. Hands by your hips. Separate your feet. And again, you decide the lift. Some days for me, this one, and it wasn't always this way. There were most of my years of yoga, I could not do this on the floor. But now, some days it's a little better for me on the floor. So use a lift if you need. Otherwise, you can come onto the floor. If you feel a scooping in your back, you need a lift. Hands by your hips. Actions are the same. So press the thighs down. Is that Kathy there? Didn't even know. Hi, Kathy. Welcome. I didn't see you before. From the inner thighs, extend through the inner knee, through the inner ankle, push through the ball of the big toe. From the upper inner thighs, draw back towards the abdomen. The flesh of the inner thighs descending, draw from the outer knees to the outer hips. Are you balanced evenly on the sit bones? And then using your hands to help lift the side ribs. And traditional poses, fingertips forward. But sometimes, we can turn the hands back. It's not necessarily right and wrong. There is traditional and then adjustment. So you can pick it. Take your hands forward, turn your hands back, and see what you're feeling today. Right, if you're up on a lift, then use your fingertips. Is the experience in your legs even? Make sure those thighs are turned in. So toes up, knees up. And it's the firm kneecap, right? Because the quadricep muscle is working quite strongly. And then turning to the right. So left hand in, right leg out. Now again, there's a tendency to pull up on that left leg. So push down through the left thigh, through the left sit bone. So you still have an evenness there. Lift. Use your hands to lift the side ribs, lengthen the side ribs, and turn towards that right leg. Still extending through the left leg. Right. So sometimes when we turn to the right, we begin to ignore the left side. So keep the awareness on the left side. Rotate the ribs, shoulders down. For me, as I turn, it's easier. I don't know, easier, more accessible is perhaps a better word. If I go on my fingertips and I bend the elbows, then I can keep my shoulders down better. Maintain that lift. Inhale, exhale, come to center. Hands by your hips. And then right hand in, left hand behind you. Now pay attention to the right side of the body, not just the left. Press the right thigh down, right sit bone equal to the left. Inhale, lifting, lengthening, turn. So I come to the fingertips when I turn. Bend the elbows out to the sides, right? That helps broaden across the chest and the top back. Lengthen the groins. Both thighs still pressing down. And wrap those ribs around. Maintain that lift. Inhale, exhale, come to center. Hands by your hips. Take hold of the inside of your knees. Lift straight up. Let the feet come together. And you can hold the ankles and bring the feet the rest of the way. Now, again, you might have to adjust your lift, right? So if your knees are way up high, you're better off on a lift here. And if you're up high, then you just take a strap around your feet. And if you're on the floor, perhaps you take your hands around your feet. But again, we've spoken about this before. There's a tendency when your hands are around your feet to pull up with your hands, and I want you to use your feet to push down your hands into the floor, and then you're pushing your knuckles into the floor instead of trying to pull up. Push your knuckles down. And Carla, lift there. There we go. Now, even here, we've spoken about the arms, not so much today, but so the forearms rotate in here and the upper arms rotate out. It's kind of like downward facing dog arms. Forearms in, upper arms out. Or one of the variations of downward facing dog arms. There are different ways to do the arms. Pressing the heels. Lengthening the groins from the inner knees to the lower abdomen to the inner knees, and the knees move out to the sides. Don't try and push the knees down, but do try and spread the knees away from each other. So the left knee is going closer to the left wall, the right knee is going closer to the right wall. By doing that, you may experience that they go down. That's fine. I'm not saying you don't want them to go down, but I am saying that's not the action. The action is spreading them away from each other. Drawing the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. The more you can draw the femur bone into the hip socket, right? Outer knee to outer hip, and really compact those hips. The more you can draw from the upper inner thighs back towards the lower abdomen, the more your knees move away from each other. So as you draw towards the body, you actually become wider in the legs. I would not have believed that had I not experienced and studied it myself in my body, because it didn't make sense to my feeble mind. Carla, lift the side ribs. Side ribs. Side ribs. There we go. I know. We'll lift them, and then the mind wanders, and it's like, then we're back here. Is he still talking? Is he still droning? I'm tired. Okay. I get it. What, you don't think I bore myself sometimes? Of course I do. But boredom is the birthplace of creativity, so it's okay. Don't avoid your boredom. Now, if your strap is underneath your feet, then you hold the strap, right? If you're on a lift, take hold of the strap. Otherwise, you can take your left hand on the outside of your right ankle, take your right hand behind you. Don't let that knee come up. That knee has to not go down, but out to the side, the left one as we turn to the right. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turning. Again, bending the elbows out to the sides. Don't have your thumb wrapped around your foot. So your thumb and index finger are on the same side of your leg. That's it, Leanne. You feel the difference in your shoulders? That changes the feeling of your shoulders. Shoulders down. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turning. Back to center. And then the other side. Right hand comes over, left hand behind you. Inhale, lift, exhale, turn. Both knees moving away from each other. lengthening the groins, compact the hips. So we're going to be doing some twistings today, if you haven't noticed. Often after holidays, we'll do twists to move all the toxins away. And I thought we should do it before holidays this year. Get some of the toxins that are already there out of the way, and then continue the twist through. Of course, it's Hanukkah for those who celebrate, so we're in the middle of the holiday. But you know what I mean. Why do we always wait till the problem is there to have a solution? Let's do the solution first. Maintain that lift. Inhale, exhale, come to center. And then either taking hold of the strap or hands underneath your feet again. If your hands are underneath your feet, please change the interlace. Yes, this is a two-sided pose. If you are interlacing your fingers, it's a two-sided pose. And again, the feet pushing down into the knuckles pushing down towards the floor. I'm not saying you have to, bang your knuckles into the floor, but that is the direction of them. The knuckles have pressure on the floor. Lengthen through the side ribs. Lift the side ribs. The armpit chest lifts up, even though you are pushing down through the hands. And release. Take your hands on the outside of your knees, push your legs together, hold behind one knee, draw the flesh towards the buttocks, drag the heel, straighten the leg, other knee, draw the flesh towards the buttocks, drag the heel, straighten the leg, back to Dandasana, thighs down, lengthen the inner groins, descend the inner groins, draw the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. And release. Come up to standing. It's getting a little warm in here. Take a strap. So you have your feet, they can be together, they can be hip distance apart. Today for me, my body says hip distance apart, so I'm just going to go with that. By the way, hips is hip sockets, so not the hip bones, but the hip sockets. Balance evenly on the feet. For those that were here the other day, the outer hips drawing in, the inner thighs moving away from each other. If you weren't here the other day, it's okay. I'm not going to go into that part in too much detail because we're doing something else, but that's still there in case you were here. Lengthen the inner thighs, lift from the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. Of course, the thighs pressing back. So really establishing the legs. Front bottom ribs moving towards the back body. And then taking the strap and extending it up. Taking the arms wide. Or wide enough, it depends on you, wide enough so that you'll be able to move your arms back and forth in a moment. But first, simply open. So gently pull the strap away, as if you're trying to make it wider. So the arms are trying to go away from each other. You're not holding on for dear life to this strap. Gentle hold. Opening up the armpits. And then allowing the strap to fall behind you, straight arms. If the arms bend, see if you can take your arms wider apart. And then up and over. We'll get back to the twist, but I had a strap in my hand and this is just such a wonderful pose, so why not? Try not to move the torso though. Try not to throw the torso forward as you go back, but see if you can keep the shoulders over the hips the whole time. And the only movements that you're making are the arms and the shoulder joint. but the torso doesn't sway forward or back. The head doesn't sway forward or back. Notice how the arms for most of us are different. Even though I am seeking an equality on both sides, the experience of my left armpit, chest, shoulder, back is quite different from the right side. And then the next time on your way back, just stop at that spot that is most open. Rotate the upper arms out. The back armpit moves towards the front armpit, right? So that's the back, this is the front. The back armpit moves towards the front armpit. The front armpit moves towards the ceiling. And as you do that, that creates space for the top of the back to move down. Watch the knees, Carla. And then let the strap fall behind you. And up and forward. And let's release the strap. I know, right? We hold a lot in our shoulders. So much. We'll teach a trick in asana. Fingertips up. Bend your legs. Jump or step your feet wide. Drop the shoulders, thighs back. Bounce evenly on the feet. So having done that work with the shoulders, hopefully your armpits are feeling nice and open. Turn your left foot in, turn your right leg out, front heel in line with your back arch. Press that back heel so the back thigh goes back to press the back heel. The front thigh turns out. Lift both outer knees to outer hips. And then reach back with that back arm. Inhale, exhale, come down. Keep pressing the back heel. And even this is a slight twist. Press the back heel, lift the outer knees to the outer hips, and then you take the right ribs forward and the left ribs back. And then extend those arms away from each other. Watch the bottom shoulder, Leanne. Rotate your bottom upper arm out. Good. It's not even about just taking the shoulder back. It's about the rotation of the arm. And reach for that top arm. Pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. Over to the other side. Right foot and left leg out. Press that back heel, turn the front thigh out, wider stance, Carla, if that's accessible. And Carla, make sure your front heel is in line with your back arch. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. And then as you press the back heel, inhale and exhale and come down. Keep pressing that back heel. Turn the front thigh out, lift the outer knees to the outer hips. And then there's that rotation. So left ribs forward, right ribs back. Had to figure out my left and right for a moment. And extend those arms away from each other. Yeah, that's better now, Leanne. Reach with that top arm, pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet and jump or step your feet together. Take a couple blocks towards the front of your mat. Pravrita Trikonasana. Fingertips up. Bend your legs, jump or step. And then hands on hips for a moment. First time we'll go in with hands on hips. We'll see how it goes. Decide what we do for the second one. Turn your left foot in, turn your right leg out. Pick up your back heel, swing that left hip forward, and then place the heel back down. This block goes on the instep of your foot today. If you've been practicing a while and you can take it on the outside of your foot, you're welcome to. That's fine. Eventually it goes to the outside of your foot. Eventually your hand is on the floor on the outside of your foot. Now the front thigh turns out, the back thigh turns in. Lift both outer knees to outer hips. You're going to get much more extension and turn if you lengthen the groins right now. So from your inner knees to your lower abdomen, lengthen, right? So especially the upper inner thighs to the lower abdomen, there's a drawing in. The flesh of the inner thighs goes back. And at the same time, lift the outer knees to the outer hips and compact the hips together. And observe the effects of those actions just now here, before we go down. Now maintain those actions, extend the left arm up, reach up, inhale, exhale, come forward, forward, forward. Keep the chest moving forward as you take the fingertips on the block. Take your right hip back, extend the chest forward, inhale, and then exhale and turn over your front leg. Rotate. Wrap those ribs around again. So the left ribs are going down first, or perhaps over to the side now. The right ribs are coming back. If you have your balance and you're pressing that back heel and that right hip is going back, you can extend your right arm up. And then take your hand back on your hip. The balance is in your back heel and your left arm. Press into your back heel, and then use your left arm and swing yourself up and out. Blocks a little bit in the way, parallel your feet, being careful. And then take your hands on your hips. How'd everybody do? Everybody still with me? All right. Right foot in, left leg out. Pick up the back heel, turn, square your hips to the side wall. So Carly, you can turn that back foot in a little bit more, and that will allow you to bring the hip a little bit more forward. So the front thigh turns out, back thigh turns in. Oh, place that block. The block can go on the instep, of course. Again, well, if you had it on the outside on the first side, then put it on the outside. Turn the front thigh out, turn the back thigh in, lift the outer knees to the outer hips and compact the hips together. But lengthen those inner groins, especially the tops of the thighs, draw towards the abdomen, the upper inner thighs, the flesh moves back. And the more you can maintain that, the more length you'll get, the more turn you'll get. So extend the right arm up now, but keep your awareness in the legs. Can you keep those actions to the legs? Inhale, exhale, extend forward, 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 forward. Keep the chest moving forward as the fingertips go on the block. Take that left hip back now, inhale, and on your exhalation, turn towards your front leg. Keep that front leg straight. The front leg doesn't bend here, so still lift the outer knee to the outer hip. Straighten the front leg. Each exhalation you turn, wrap the ribs around. Notice if you can still lengthen the inner groins, you'll get a little bit more turn. Try not to lean back, Leanne, but keep that spine perpendicular to the front and back wall. You're beginning to move towards the front wall. Of course, you can extend your left arm if you have your balance, just for the picture. I don't even have a camera. And then take your hand on your hip. Press into your back heel, swing with your right arm, up and out. Parallel your feet. Watch that block there. Be careful for the blocks. Just step your feet together so no one's tripping. Well, that worked out relatively well. So let's separate the feet. Actually, yeah, let's extend the arms. Turn your left foot in, turn your right leg out. Now, as you pick up the back heel and turn, And lift up the back heel and turn. You're going to have the arms help swing your hips. And then you place that heel down. And then inhale and exhale. You're not going to come down yet. Just rotate to turn to face the back wall. And then come back to center. And to the front of the room. And then the other side. Right foot and left leg out. Pick up that back heel. So the torso turns, the hip turns, the torso turns, and the arms turn. Oh, I'm losing my balance. So you're facing the side wall there. Now still lift the outer knees to the outer hips, lengthen the inner thighs. Inhale, exhale, turn towards the back wall. And inhale, exhale, come back to center. Take your hands on your hips. So we're going to use that to go down. So we're going to have to get that block into place. So that's going to be just the tricky part. So turn your left foot in, turn your right leg out, and place the block. But then face forward again for a moment and extend the arms. Because your arms can help carry you. But have the block ready. Inhale, exhale. So the hip turns. You can turn the foot to. The hip turns, the leg turns, torso turns. Inhale, exhale, turn to the back. And then the arms are extended. Inhale, exhale, take that left hand down. Push into the block to turn. Push into the block to turn. And everyone, take your right hand on your hip. Take that right hip back. Extend the chest forward. Push into the block. Turn some more. And then if you'd like, you can re-extend your arm up. Or you can keep it on your hip. And then pressing into the back heel. Swing with your lower arm up and out. All right. I was the only one that fell. Great. Hands on hips. Right foot in, left leg out, so that you can place the block. Then extend the arms. And then inhale, exhale. Everything's going to turn. I said the hip, but really that leg begins to turn in. So that the foot turns in, the leg turns in, the hip comes in. Exhale and turn to the side first. And then adjust the feet if you need to. The front thigh turns out, the back thigh turns in. Lengthen the groins, compact the hips. And then inhale, exhale, turn more. Turn as much as your body's willing to turn you, or optimally. And then pressing that back heel. Exhale, take your right hand down. Left arm goes up. Push into the block to turn. Push into the block to turn. You can take your left hand on your hip. Take that left hip back, extend the chest forward. Push into the block to turn more. And then either stay here, or if you'd like to extend your arm back up, you can extend your arm back up. That's fine. It's your choice. You're leaning towards the front wall again, Leanne. So try and get your spine. So take your hip, the hip that's further away from me, take it towards me. Yeah, take that hip towards me. Uh-huh, yeah. Uh-huh, better. Don't try and do a back bend. Coming out, press the back heel with your right arm. Swing yourself up and out. Parallel your feet, watch those blocks. Jump or step your feet together. Check in, study. Now it is study time. Why do we do that? What are the effects? Thighs back, lift the outer knees to the outer hips, lengthen the inner thighs. If your feet are together, they should be together. If they're hip distance apart, that's fine, toes forward. But choose what you're doing. Be mindful. If they're apart, don't just have them there. And if they're together, Don't just have, one's there, have them together. It's the practice of paying attention. And the mind wanders, and we just finished a difficult pose. So let the feet go where they are. I understand that. Watch the knees, Carla, shin bones forward. But it's helpful to continue to practice being mindful. Take the blocks to the back of the mat. Fingertips up. Utthita Parshva Konasana. Bend your legs, jumper step. Drop the shoulders. Left foot in, right leg out. Front heel in line with your back arch. Pressing the back heel, turn the front thigh out. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Inhale, exhale, bend the leg into a 90-degree angle. Inhale, exhale, hand on the block moves next to your heel. And extend that left arm up, rotate the arm so the palm faces your ear, and extend your arm over your ear. So Carla, you take yours back up for a second. Now, when you take it over, try and take your arm towards the back of the room. Just aim there, even if it doesn't go there. That's it, good. Yeah, great. Press the back heel, extend through the arm, the whole side body extending. And then pressing through the back heel, reach through the arm and pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. Left foot in, right leg out. Front heel in line with your back arch. Press into the back heel, turn the front thigh out, lift the outer knees to the outer hips, lengthen the groin still. Inhale, exhale, bend the leg. Inhale, exhale, hand down. Don't take the knee past the ankle. Right arm up, rotate it so it faces your ear. Press into the back heel on your exhalation. Same thing, Carla. Move your arm towards the back of the room. Actually, everyone, you want to take your arm closer to the back of the room than the front of the room. But don't overdo it, Leanne. You're already flexible, so you're fine. Press into the back heel, extend to the whole side body. And reaching through that arm, pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet and jumper step your feet together. All right. So now we'll see if you guys will like me at the end of class. Hopefully you'll come back in if you don't. Come on to your knees. That was Parshva Konasana, extended side angle pose. Now we're doing Parvrita, Parshva Konasana. We're going to start it from, you can start it standing, but I'm going to see how this goes. I haven't taught it in this configuration yet, but let's see how this goes. How's this on your knees? Okay. We're going to do this in stages. I have taught it in the past. It's not like it's the first time I've taught it. So the right leg up. Now, as we do this, I normally teach this in stages. This is a pose I still have not fully made friends with myself. I'm still working on it. So at any point, you can say, this is as far as I go. So here we go, right leg up. And we'll take it back. And then the left leg up. And maybe that's all you're going to do today as we go through the other various stages of what we're going to do. But the back leg, you want to go straight back. So try not to have the back leg where the shin is diagonal, but the back shin is straight with the toes facing back. I know this is stage one. Wait till we get to the others. I don't even like them yet. But one day, All right, switch. Turn to the right with hands on hips. Rotate. And then inhale, exhale, come back to center and switch. Make sure that bottom leg is going straight back. Inhale, lift in. Exhale, turn. Rotate. Wrap the ribs around. Shoulders down. Elbows out to the sides. Inhale, exhale, come back to center. Whoop. See, it's balancing. So I don't like this pose. But just because I don't like it doesn't mean we can't teach it. All right. So maybe that's as far as you go. Right leg up. Extend the arms. Rotate to the right. Exhale, come to center. Hands on hips. I told you, we're doing stages. We're doing more stages than I usually do also. Why? I feel like it. Sometimes that's just the answer to stuff. I feel like it. It's not a bad answer. There's weight on the knee, but it's not like you're pushing the knee down. Does it hurt your knee? That, try not to push the knee down. Although, when your knees, if you're like this, there's weight, there's gravity, there's weight on the knee. So it's not like there won't be weight on the knee. There is. But don't try and do excessive. There should be also weight on the front heel. So see if you can even out the weight on the knee and on that front heel as well. Right? The final pose, the knee's not on the floor. We're just getting there. Arms out, turn. And exhale, come to center. Hands on hips and back. We having fun yet? Soon? All right. So make sure that all the weight isn't on the knee because the heel's here too. So shift some of the pressure on the heel, although it's not, my knee's not comfortable here, but I'm not hurting it either. Arms out. Inhale, exhale, turn. Inhale, exhale. Take your hand down, the left hand. And take your right hand on your hip. Turn. And release, come up. Carefully come up. Right leg down, left knee up. Turn. Inhale, exhale, come down. Now, if your fingertips don't touch the floor, I hope you're taking a block, right? And then hand on hip, turn. Inhale, exhale, come out. Hand down. All right, we're going to do that a slightly different way. Right leg up. Extend the arm up, the left arm up. So right knee is bent. Left leg is straight back. Left arm is up. Now, on your exhalation, you're going to rotate and then hook your elbow around the knee. Inhale, exhale, turn and hook the elbow around the knee. Now, you want to get the armpit, not everyone's armpit is going to go, but you want to get your armpit as close to the knee as you can and turn. And then once you have it, you can stay there, or you can straighten the arm, fingertips on your blocker floor. And then carefully release and come out. Everybody at home relatively okay? All right. Switch legs. So arm up. Inhale. On your exhalation, rotate the other arm. So right arm. That.
Inhale, exhale, rotate. Don't just round your back, lean forward, but lengthen forward and hook the elbow. But I have all the space between my armpit and my knee. So I'm going to take my left hand on my thigh, inhale, turn, and then try and get that armpit onto my knee. And then you can keep your elbow bent if you want, or straighten your arm onto the block and rotate. And then on your exhalation, release. Check in. So maybe that's as far as you go today. Totally cool. I'm going to show you first. So watch. You can sit back on your knees if you want, so you're comfortable, but watch. So we'll take the arm up, we'll rotate, and we'll turn. So here's what I do to get my armpit there. I take my hand to the top of my thigh. I inhale, lengthen up, and then exhale, turn, and try and go a little deeper. And then hand down. Now, I might have to do this to the side too. Then you turn your back toes under and straighten your leg. I'll show from the side. So arm up, turn. All the space here, I want to get rid of that as much as I can. And when you come down, it's not this. So I'm still trying to lengthen as I come down. Then I take my hand on my thigh, lengthen more. Inhale, exhale, hook. Then once I'm here, turn the back toes, straighten the leg. Today, I'm not trying to get my heel down. The back leg is straight, and I'm trying to get my heel towards the side of the room. Then you'll bend your leg, and you'll come out. All right, so try that. And again, if you're not into straightening your back leg today, your body, not mine, right? Right leg up. Left arm up. Inhale, exhale, keep the length of the torso and hook the elbow. And then see if you can get the armpit closer. So hand on the thigh, inhale, lengthen up, exhale, come down, try and get that armpit on the knee, and then straighten the arm onto the floor or the block. Now maybe this is as far as you go, or turn your back toes under and straighten your leg. Head back. Extend through the back heel. So the back thigh goes up, not the knee, the thigh, and extend through the back heel. And then bend the leg. For me, I just take the arm in front of that leg and then take the knee down and come up. Oh, sorry, wrong leg. Took the same leg back up. Switch legs, switch legs. I'll figure it out. So left leg up, right arm up. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, turn, lengthen the spine as you come down. And I didn't hook as much as I want. So left hand on top of the thigh, inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. Exhale, try and get that armpit onto the knee. And then straighten the arm on the floor or the block. Now you can stay here or turn your back toes under, straighten your back leg. Head back as you straighten that back leg. And if your knee is bent still, then turn. And inhale, exhale, back leg down. Take your other arm in front, knee down. All right, one last step for those. Some are there, and that's fine. This judgment-free zone, right? But there is one last step. So for those that have been going along, we'll see if I do it without falling. I don't know. So the arm will go up, turn, inhale, get the armpit there, right? So for those that have gone this far, your goal is simply to lengthen. You can even do it a couple times. And then as everyone else is doing the back leg, you do it again. Inhale, try and get down deeper. And you'll straighten the leg. The final, is extending the arm. Extend through that back heel as you extend through the arm. That's where the balance will help. And then when you come out, hand down, knee down, come forward. You can, if you want, even with the back leg bent, if you want to experience the arm, you can do that. So that's fine too. Okay? Or just work the turn. Options. We don't often give options in Iyengar yoga. Here we go. Lots of options. Right leg up. Left arm up. Rotate. Inhale. Exhale. Hook. Hand on the thigh. Inhale. Lengthen. Exhale. Hook deeper. Fingertips on the block of the floor. Now, your choice. Stay here. You can keep trying the turn and getting the armpit closer. Turn the back toes under. Straighten the leg. And then you can stay there, or even with the knee bent, extend the arm up and extend it over your ear. Extend through that back heel. I'm going to come out so I can look. Extend through that back heel to extend the arm. Good. Nicely, Ann. Don't let the hip go to the side, though. Take the right hip to the left. That's it. And then hand on the hip. Knee down. Come to center. And here we go. All right, we're almost done. Left leg up. Right arm up. Inhale. Exhale. Hook the elbow. Hand on the thigh. Inhale. Exhale. Hook more. Fingertips down. Now, maybe you just work this part. That's totally great. Great, great, great. Well, turn the toes under, straighten the leg. And then you can just stay here, or whether your leg is straight or the leg is bent, you can, if you want, take the arm, rotate it, extend over your ear. Oh, this side is so different. Extend through the heel as you extend through the arm, if the arm is extended and the leg is extended. I'm going to come out and just look. And then hand on hip, bend the leg, and come out. There we go. Fun with Pavrita Parshva What? Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Hands on the, you pick it, blocks, chair, floor, stairs. Turn the forearms in, press into the ball of the first finger thumb, rotate the upper arms out. Turn your toes under, straighten your legs. Inhale and exhale, downward facing dog. Heels down, hips up. Really push into the hands. So from the shoulders, push down into the hands. And from the hands, lengthen all the way through the sits bones. Thighs back. Inhale, exhale, bend your legs. Feet together, knees apart. Adho Mukha Virasana, child's pose. Take your hands underneath your shoulders and push to come up. All right, so for those whose standing twists are difficult, me too, lie back. I'm gonna do some supported twists. Extend your arms out to the side, bend your legs into your chest. And for those that were excelling at the standing twist, this is just gonna feel like pure luxury to you. Inhale, exhale, take your knees towards your right elbow. Turn your abdomen to the left as your knees go to the right. Press your right shoulder down to keep the left shoulder down. And take your left outer hip away from your left shoulder. And push with your bottom leg. Inhale, come up. Feet on the floor. Square your hips and square your shoulders. Bend your legs back into your chest. Inhale. Exhale, take the knees towards your left elbow. Keep the thighs together. That means the bottom thigh pushes into the top thigh. Push the left shoulder down to keep the right shoulder down. The abdomen turns to the right as the knees go to the left. And take your right outer hip away from your shoulder. And with your lower leg, push to come up. Take your feet on the floor and square your hips and square your shoulders. Bend your legs into your chest. Hold around your shins or behind your knees. Hold around your right shin only. Take your left foot to the floor. Draw the right thigh towards your torso as you drag your left heel, straighten your left leg. The left thigh turns in. Lengthen the groins, compact the hips. The right outer hip moves away from your shoulder. As you move the right outer hip away from your shoulder, draw the right thigh down. As you draw the right thigh down, lengthen through the left leg. On your exhalation, bend your legs together. Take your hands around your other shin. Take your foot on the floor. Draw your thigh towards your torso. Drag your heel, straighten your leg. Take the left outer hip away from your shoulder. Keep the right thigh turned in. As you take the left outer hip away from your shoulder, draw the left thigh down. As you draw the left thigh down, lengthen through the inner right leg. Bend the leg back into your chest. Give yourself another hug. Say something kind to yourself here. Offer gratitude for you, for the body that has brought you through this pose, through this class. On your exhalation, take your feet to the floor. Scoop the flesh of the buttocks towards the heels. Straighten the legs one at a time. Let the legs go. Find a comfortable place for your arms. Maybe that's at about a 30-degree angle. Maybe it's further out to the sides. Whatever creates the most peace for you today. Let go. Let the body become heavy. Let the legs become heavy. Surrender to gravity. Let the torso become heavy. Surrender to gravity. Let the arms become heavy. The shoulders. Surrender to gravity. Let the flesh of the sides of the neck surrender to gravity. Let the skull itself surrender to gravity. Resting your eyes on your front brain. Rest your front brain on your back brain. And let the brain itself withdraw from the bones of your skull. Become a witness for the breath. Do not need to breathe, the breath will breathe you. Can you become a witness to the breath? When you notice that your mind has wandered, with a gentleness, with compassion, gently shift the awareness back to the breath that is still breathing you. Begin to lengthen, deepen the inhalation, and lengthen, deepen the exhalation. Move your toes, move your nose. Bend your legs, place your feet on the floor with your knees together, feet apart. Take your hands onto your abdomen or onto your chest. Let the healing energy of your hands penetrate your body, pierce through your layers, and heal whatever it is you may need healing with today. When you feel ready, extend your right arm past your right ear, roll to the right. If you prefer the left side, that's fine. Roll to the left. Be on your side for a moment. When you feel ready, place your top hand on the floor in front of your heart. Turn your torso towards the floor first. Then come up chest first, head last. Come up to sitting. Bring your palms together. Touch your palms evenly. Dry your eyes back and down as you turn the corners of your lips out. Taking a moment to observe your practice. What's different? What's changed? And let's close our practice together by chanting one collective Om. Deep inhalation. Om. Gently let your eyelids open. Big smile. Namaste. Bow to the divine within you. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody here. Thank you, everybody there. So Tuesday, there's no class in the studio.